Every time. I'm like over here just bebopping if people could
I
see the
know.
camera in the
It's very
background.
boppy. It is
It is
very, although
boppy. Where
boppy
did you
means
find
something
that?
new, right? Like, yeah.
What?
Where did I find that? I found it. Oh my gosh, where was it? You know what? It might have been either Canva or CapCut or something like that. It was just like
Oh, yeah.
music. And I really liked the song.
Well, and
So
their
now,
searchability makes it so nice to be like, I
yeah,
want quick, happy, upbeat.
yeah, right.
Like I've done
Yeah,
that
yeah,
before. I
yeah,
love that.
right. Yeah, I think it was, yeah, I think I did a beat or whatever. Hi, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. What people don't see is you have been getting under my skin all week. So we're just gonna be so fun today and just see how much farther under my skin you can get.
Uh,
Um,
I mean, challenge accepted,
which
but
look, for people that don't know us, because I realize I have this relationship with a lot of my friends. For people that don't know us, that is like a sign of love and care that we just
yes,
bother the crap out of each other
nice.
because I didn't realize I do this with a lot of my friends. And then I've had some be like, I can't believe she doesn't like you that much. And I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
she's my best friend.
right. Oh man, it's so true. And my father-in-law once, like when I was getting to know him, so my father-in-law was like my mentor, really, really cool guy. And he was also a very smart person, like was a Rhodes Scholar, went to Oxford, was a professor, like the bit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, when I got to know him, he and I would like hang out, we'd have coffee, and he would just like mentor me in life because he was a really smart guy. Anyway, we were we were like walking back from coffee from Atlas in San Francisco one time, and I asked him something else, and he said he had this very funny voice. He was like, "Oh, I don't know why I bother talking to you about anything. You're so dumb. You just don't even know what I'm talking about." And I was like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've never felt so loved in my entire life." Like
Oh,
that, it was like, "Oh man, that like this guy really, really likes me," because and so that's just I think it's a Midwest thing, right? Like if you like someone's truck, you call it ugly, right?
kind
Like
of. Yeah. You're
that's
like, oh, big
yeah,
guy over here with the big dick.
exactly. So yeah, yeah. So for those of you that are not used to that because you like are normal people that don't insult people that you like, right? That might be
Because
kind
God
of off.
forbid we just admit we like somebody. Like we're
Oh
just
gosh,
genuine
who'd do
about our
that? That's
emotions
so
and
weird.
care.
That is so weird.
No, thank
So
you.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, that does bring up a good point. Uh People probably there are some people, I mean, I share this on mine, you share this on your LinkedIn. So there are people in our communities that maybe don't know each other. And so maybe we
Oh,
should probably be better about like introducing ourselves, talking about who
oh,
we are and where we're
okay.
from.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that we've done that the last couple of
No,
episodes.
no,
This
yeah.
is
I mean, we
definitely
just
our time to
launched.
just hop on and have fun.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
forget that other
absolutely.
people might want to learn
Right.
something.
Yeah.
So
And to make sure that people know, like we love comment, like interrupt us, send us your
yes.
wildest, zaniest comments, please. We love it. So
Yes,
yeah.
I am
Okay, you
such
go
a like
first.
chat warrior when you're live with other people. Like, and it's fun because then there's something else to do. And we're learning right along. You'll learn, especially today. We are learning right along with teaching you all on what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So
Right. Yeah.
why don't you kick us off, Tim? Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, how we ended up here. When you say Midwest, where are you? People love
I
to find
live,
about where Midwest exists.
yeah, and I don't even know. It's kind of weird to call Montana Midwest, but I think the Midwest are like everything west of the Rockies and between the Mississippi, right? Like that's how I kind of think of it. So I'm in Bozeman, Montana, which if you're going to go to Yellowstone Park, you're probably going to fly into
Which is big
Bozeman.
right now. Are you seeing all the TikTok tiki-taki trends?
No, what?
Oh, there's a lot of it's
Oh, I know. Yeah, the national park
style.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yes. Oh, all right, Dan. Thank you from Halifax,
And
which is
Kershaw.
beautiful, by the way. Yeah, I feel like yeah, Halifax is kind of like Bozeman on the ocean.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's really really lovely. I was there
Okay,
at
but
this
who
time
are
last year.
you? What do you do for work? Why are we talking?
Oh, what do I do for work?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a
Uh,
map of Montana while you do that.
oh,
The fun one. I don't know.
yeah, I help humans use technology in the social impact space. It's probably the
Ooh,
easiest way to do it, but I
yeah.
really focus not on the technology, but on the human side of technology. And what I found is that I like I love how technology is just all about zeros and ones. It's just bits and bytes, right? True, false, zeros and ones. Humans are not like that. Our base code is not like trying to sort out tiny little binaries of zeros, ones, trues, and false, right? Our binary is not true, false. It's in, out. Are we are we belong to the group? Are we in the group or not in the group? And it's not and it's not a binary. It's a spectrum. Humans are a lot more complicated. And
like us showing care through insults.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
What a great example.
It is a great example. Like, yeah, we're complex, complicated, and interesting. So I think what I found is that whether you want to call it change management or whether you want to call it adoption, which I don't, by the way, but whatever you want to call it, what we find is that humans have to engage technology in a different way. And I've really devoted the last 5 years of my life to really thinking through, what does that look like in a methodology? We have methodologies to build tech. We should have methodologies to build our community centered around how we use technology together. So I call that the human stack.
Ooh, I love that. Thanks. I kind of forget because I've been working with you so long, and like, I mean, it really hasn't been that long, but like, as far like you forget yeah, and you forget sort of like the pitch that brought you in kind of deal, right? So for those of you that I don't know, wonderful to meet you. I'm Sami. I work with Tim and Dan at the Human Stack. We do a lot of exploration together, to be completely honest. I think that's the best way to describe our relationship, working and personal. Yeah, no, I feel like Dan is like the secret weapon to like everything we are and what we do.
I know. It's so true.
Like if it wasn't for him, Tim and I would be all over the place all the time and not understand like the bigger vision sometimes. And anyway, if I had my own little phrase similar to you helping humans use tech better for social good organizations, I like to say like to help good people do good things better. That's kind of like my personal mantra. And that's why I spend a lot of my time professionally and personally in the volunteer and nonprofit space. I come from higher ed foundations. So I come from that sort of like fundraising churn, which I think is really, I find a lot of fun and value in that. And I wouldn't be in this space if it wasn't for the fact that I got scholarships to really get me through college, and like, it all stems from someone else being philanthropic and getting me that first foot in the door. And then like, now I'm here. Right. So that's sort of what always brings me back to it. It just so happens that I think Nathan and Scott talk a lot on their fundraising AI podcast about curious generalists. And I think I've never felt like more seen until I heard that phrase, because that explains why this work, even though I was a criminal justice major from South Dakota, like it explains why this work makes sense for me, because I'm so curious generalist. And I love to learn how to make things work better. My emphasis just happens to be on good people. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of fundraising AI,
and I want to actually say there's a connection there too. I think that I feel like one of the things, I don't really talk about this a lot in our work, but when you have a tech stack, it's really important to know how that tech stack came to be, right? And and you and I have been through processes where we do a deep dive. We spend hours helping organizations really understand where they've come from and what it means. We sometimes uncover tech trauma and all of that. Just like it's important to show people like where the tech stack has come from, it's also important to show in the human stack where they've come from. And I don't just mean as individuals, but I mean as a community, journey together. And the stack part of the human stack is supposed to tell people this is about the community of humans, not just like, I don't know what else it would be. So I feel like knowing that's your history, knowing that, the generalist part really is important to you, I think all of that really helps frame out like why, why you're here. Also, we do like have, I don't know, almost identical personalities, which is almost spooky sometimes, but there you go.
We do sometimes, but then I'm a lot better at being like, all right, Tim, focus. Like, let's get going. Which is funny because, but that's such an ADD.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I can do that for other people just fine, but if I need to focus, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
good
I'll
luck.
fight you.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay
totally.
unfocused if I can.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Great. So for what we do here, AI for Anyone Live, this is just our little mini series. We hop on every Wednesday. It's what time is it for you, Mountain Time?
Oh, it's 9 a.m.
So 9 Mountain, 10 Central, 11 Eastern,
8
we got
Pacific.
8 a.m. Pacific. I know we have some people joining from all over though. So
I
there's
know.
definitely people
I want to see. I really want to see Malcolm hop in. Yeah, I know it's 3 a.m. for you, Malcolm. So like, you should probably just do the reruns.
Look,
But still.
Malcolm, if you ever want to hop in,
Yeah.
let us know in advance,
Yeah.
and we will literally just bring you on stage with us.
Absolutely.
We will make that so worth your while to show up at 3 a.m.
Good point. Yeah.
Happy to do that.
Right.
He actually commented on this. Tim and I were talking before we started. He commented on our post about this, and was asking. He said he was struggling to find like where to turn this on in the Google Workspace. And so actually that drove in a couple episodes. We're going to go over, like, we're just going to load up somebody's back end. And so we were talking about a client that we could do that for, but Malcolm, honestly, if you wanted to come on and like, we can workshop it and troubleshoot it together on this, I think that'd be awesome. So, anyway, we are, oh gosh, Dan, I don't even know, what is AST? I don't know what that is, Tim.
Atlantic Standard Time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know that because when I went to visit Halifax, I was like, what is AST? Right. So
yes,
there you go.
This is what Dan commented for people wondering.
Right. It's going to turn out that like it stands for something else. Right.
Oh,
so there we
that's
go.
on you.
I'm totally guessing on that. But,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Okay, so today we're trying really hard to keep these to 30 minutes, which means we have about these first 10 to 15 minutes.
I did not know that. I thought we were trying to keep it at 45.
Look, you started at 60, then you cornered me episode 2 and was like, this is too long, has to be 30 minutes, and we've never made 30 minutes.
I did not say
yes,
that.
you did.
No,
check the record because it was like
that's different.
Yes. Yes, you did.
I did not say. First of all, you do not talk too much, and second, I did not say that. So like, I probably did say the 30 minutes, but I was wrong about that. I think anyway. Like, 45.
I don't think you said I talk too much, but I do know that you said.
Yeah, I think I did think we need. Yeah, I think it should be shorter. So
I think 40 minutes is perfect though. So because that gives us time to do this, where we get to be real with people for a little bit while we intro. So I do want to. We have had some preferred partners and some just highlights that we want to do, and so rather than make this feel like a big old ad too, like, because that's not what this is about. We're gonna do some in the beginning and some at the end, just to like help spread that out a little bit. I want to be clear about the way things, like the way Tim and I advertise or like even just
promote
things. Some things we do completely on our own. Like, we are not asked to. It is because we want to and because we believe in them.
Like, and entire focus on Gemini.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't get anything from Google.
Right. Yeah. No. In fact, okay, this is really interesting. I've got to say this. Sorry, while we're on this subject of.
That's all right. I wanted to talk about that a little bit today, so we're good.
No, they have
2 parts for this for a reason.
They have an initiative out where they're really helping to get ideas around using generative AI, and they've made that program specifically to not highlight Gemini, right? Not to not highlight it, but it's not a factor. They're not asking people to highlight it, and I find that super refreshing. So Project Evident is doing a bunch of stuff with this, and so I was talking with them about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is actually really cool that they are like, this is not just to get people to use their generative AI tools. It's just to get people to start using it as part of their nonprofit expression and social impact. So, cool. So Google social impact team, thank you. Like, that is great.
Shout out.
Yeah.
We did make a joke though that if Google ever had any interest in sponsoring this, they were more than welcome.
Yeah, that is no joke. That is Google social impact team. Like, here we are, please. Like, that'd be great.
But it was really important to us that when we're doing things like especially when we're demonstrating tools, we would rather actually have Google quote sponsor us after we're done with their series than while we're doing it, because we don't ever want our reputation for being like true to what we're learning with you all and trying to find the best result. We don't ever want that to even be perceived or have the risk of being perceived as swayed by money, greed, corporations. That's just not who we are. We don't have to do this live. We do it because we have a lot of fun, and we want to learn with you all. Like, that's what's so fun about this is like we're on the night before, and a little bit like you're gonna see mid demo. Like, I'm learning how to do some of this stuff in Drive and what limitations there are. I thought Gemini could do a little more in Drive than it can, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I also just want to show, like, so one of the things I want to talk about is the fundraising AI, which I have the wrong thing up here, but the fundraising AI summit, which we're going to plug every single time until the spring. Yeah, this is the wrong one. This didn't get updated.
I'll go find it. You keep talking about it and I'll find it.
Well, there is a QR code for it because I did it last time.
Okay.
It's just a little guy. Here we go. He's a little guy up in the corner. Do you see it?
Yeah, I do see it. That's great. All right.
This was when I was trying to learn Restream, which is the tool we're using to go live here. But we will do better with fundraising AI next week. But fundraising AI is an organization that Tim and I both we work with and volunteer with. And it's an organization that maybe we'll bring Jen Law on sometime and just have her talk a little bit about FAI and the summit. And maybe we'll do like a whole promo episode where we don't necessarily do tools, but we have like little 5-minute sprints of like, here are things that we think people should know about, or partners we work with or whatever. Maybe we'll do that. But they have an entirely free online summit for anyone interested in learning about responsible and ethical use of AI in fundraising. And this year is going to be a lot about enablement is probably the right word, but it's sort of like the emotions with enablement. So whether you are using it, making sure that you feel proud and not shame when you're using it, and how to do that. And then the inverse. So if you're not using it, that's okay, but we need to help get you there. But also, like, don't beat yourself up. We're all where we are today, and nonprofits have a hard enough road. So that's sort of like our first plug for today. We've got a couple more at the end, a couple reports that are coming out, a couple conferences that are coming up that we're part of, that we really want to keep highlighting for you all. So it's just really important to me, Tim, that like I continue to remind everyone that we're only plugging things that we're either involved in or feel really strongly about, like as humans, not something that we're like,
there's
oh,
one
we
more
might not agree
category
with this.
Just in transparency that I want to talk about, which is we also plug things for awareness. So there are going to be some tools that we put out there that we haven't tried, but we're like, hey, you should be aware of this. And then we're looking for feedback on it. So I think that
that's a really good point.
But I think that I appreciate your transparency on this. And I think that we should actually like categorize those. So we should be,
let's try to do that. Maybe we'll play with that in future.
And I have affiliate relationships with a lot of these, with a lot of them, and that's intentional. That the affiliates that, affiliate codes that we use, etc. There might be some revenue from that. The reason I really do affiliates is so that partners know how much is coming from us. So I feel like that's helpful. So.
And we'll always be honest about like, hey, this is an affiliate. Like that's the other thing. Like I've seen that done in there's a course that Tim and I are taking, and they share their affiliate codes all the time. They're like, hey, we only share the affiliate codes with things that we use. Like if we're going to tell you to use it, we might as well make sure they can track it back to us. So that's how we operate too. So I'm going to move us on to the main stage, which really just means we're switching backgrounds. This is my favorite little background that I think I stole it from your Canva a couple weeks ago.
I think we stole this from, not stole it, but Giancarlo made this. So shout out to Giancarlo.
Oh, yeah. No.
And Gemini. What are we doing in Gemini this week?
Okay. So Gemini this week, what I want to do is I've created, and I can even walk people through how we created these. So put in the comments if you're like, hey, I want to know how you use, because I created all of these in Gemini using Notebook LM and Gemini Canvas, actually. So like lessons we've already done. I created these, some of these I created this morning. So just to give you an idea of like how I created the templates for us to use for today was quite literally using past lessons. Cause that's like, I have no idea how to do this.
Love it.
Which is, it's hard for me because I still kind of default to ChatGPT sometimes because it knows me. But when I'm trying to do the Impact Me Foundation, which is the organization that we're using here as a whole, I want to keep it in that infrastructure, which is exactly what we were talking about with why we're going with Google.
And that is the difference between empowerment of individuals and enablement of teams. So I'm going to just like harp on these two words because this is so important to understand. The way people use tools personally and the way people use tools as a group should actually be a little bit different. So this, and I was just giving a training to Giving Tuesday. This is one of my main points, is that we actually really need to think about the difference on that and to start thinking of Gemini as your work tool. So
You like the little ticker I got?
I do like the little ticker that you got. It's awesome. It's very cool. Well done.
This is me learning our tools while we're doing
it. Yeah. No, I love it. That's great. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going.
No, that's okay. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to make sure I share it as a window. So if I open up other tabs on there, you can see it. All right. So you see my drive. We're in the Impact Me Foundation. I'm in my Human Stack Google Drive. So we've got our Impact Me Foundation. These are the ones that we built like that first week in Notebook LM I used. This is for today, Gemini in the driver's seat. And these are actually, someday I'll show you. These won't. Oh, they do preload. These were all of my fake photos of the Impact Me Foundation that I created a while back.
That is so cool.
Isn't that fun? So someday Tim and I are going to host the Empowerment Summit by the Human Stack, featuring the non-existent Impact Me Foundation. Because it
might be the Enablement Summit, or maybe, you know, your 2's the enablement, your 1's the empowerment.
You could do like the 3E Summit, because you've got enablement, empowerment, and education.
Ooh, that's right. E cubed. Right. Yeah. Yes. I like it.
And made a little dashboard. Anyway,
or we have to find a K word, and then we could call it the EEC conference.
I'm gonna let you do that. So I built some things that we're all going to find in our typical sort of drive these days. And I tried to think like it's May, like what's really relevant to nonprofits in May. What are some things that we're trying to get done? And that's going to vary depending on the nonprofit you are too, right? So I can only do so much. So if you've got the best way to drive what we teach and make it relevant to you is to quite literally just comment on our stuff and tell us what to do, because otherwise Tim and I just brainstorm and we go as we go. Like that's how this happens. So I built like a board report, a program overview, and then I built that also into Google Slides. And then I copied over our org metrics because I'm going to use that for something. And then a volunteer handbook. So sort of to give you an idea of what I've got in here. And let me see if I can change. There we go. So you can see the titles a little bit better. So I wanted to show, first I just wanted to demo a couple of things that you can do from Gemini straight from this folder, right? So like without even getting into a document. But today I'm going to spend the most things I think we will pull away will actually be from inside the docs, because I think Gemini is still in process on folder organization and coordination. So the first thing you saw,
for those of us with bad eyesight, can you zoom in on your screen? Just like hit the Command plus, so it's like
does anybody know if I can get rid of this? Like, can I hide this?
I don't think you can.
Well, that's frustrating, but
I know.
I'll let it slide. Okay, so first thing I did here, I can restart it. But up here, it's got automatic Ask Gemini prompts, which is awesome. So that's the easiest way to get started, is like, I want you to summarize this folder. I want to ask a question about it, or I want you to create an FAQ. We've seen this create an FAQ before in Notebook LM. So it's going to operate like the FAQ is going to operate a lot like that. Similarly, the summarize will as well, like summarize all the information. So I am going to ask about this folder, and I actually want to try something here really quickly. I'm looking for information to update our board on programs and sending them our report. I wonder if it can help write an email. Can you help me write an email using the information in this folder? Because there's a couple things, but I don't want it to use all the things. So I want to see if it pulls all the things or not. For my board. Let's just see what it says. Because it should. Okay. Oh, so you still have to. That's really interesting. You still have to add the source. So it really is just pulling. But that's not completely true, because if I hit summarize this folder, it automatically pulls it in. Do you see that?
It's summarizing the folder. It's not summarizing the drive.
It's as if so it's automating the process of connecting the source, basically.
Oh.
So for that question, I would have had to find the source. So let me re-ask that question, but I want it connected to this drive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There we go. Okay. So we can still do it by folder. You just have to actually tap the folder. So if I were to read this,
you have to. So one really important thing here, and can you like, I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I think that,
what part do you want me to be on for you to screenshot?
Well, no, I just want to, yeah, I'll add it. It'll take me a second. But I think the missing piece here for me that I'm seeing right now is that you have to add a source. Like at the bottom here, there's add sources. So
like it's not intuitive.
Well, I mean, I think it's more like
automatic is probably the right word, actually. It's
yeah, and it's not drive. It's not the entire drive. I think like, so one of the things that happens with me all the time in AI stuff is that I feel like, oh, it must work this way and make an assumption, right?
All the time.
Which is fine. Like people, I don't understand the, don't assume anything or have expectations. Like, no, we're going to. So just test them. And I think that this is one, like, this actually isn't the way it works. You don't search the whole drive, you search folders. And so I think that's actually helpful. Maybe there's a way to search the whole drive.
Oh, here.
But, yeah.
Look at this. So
well, yeah, if you go to the source is the entire drive, right? Are you trying that?
Probably. No, but that's not what it was. So what I was thinking, so I was looking in here, I'll just exit this really quick. I went back to like my main folder, right? And I just clicked. So this is the Gemini button for those of you that maybe don't know that. And I wanted to see like what suggestions it came up with. I said, what can Gemini do with folders? So I just clicked it. Let me know. What can you do with folders? Because yeah, like you said, I made some assumptions about what it could do. So let me make this a little bigger. And I'm going to actually just, not to insult people, but I'm going to read it so we can kind of like talk it out.
Yeah, I think it's good.
So we're summarize a long document or an entire folder. We've got that. Discuss something that requires synthesizing information. See, this is something I think we need to prep more. I will prep more for part 2 next week. And that's why I knew there was going to be a part 2 because I wanted today to be about, I wanted to show everyone our discovery process a little bit and then be like, okay, so next week when we discover the pieces that can and can't work, let's walk them through it. Because like this one's very interesting. Synthesizing information from one or more files in your drive, either across all of your files or within a specific folder. That is exactly what we've been talking about. Like, so how can I search my drive? And instead of, I don't want it to show me the files that I'm looking for. I want it to automatically know because of the context I'm giving it in the prompt and then give me the output I need from that. So it'll consider my year-end metrics, my board report from last quarter, and my program overview, and it'll write me an email for my board, that kind of thing. And then this create new Google files and folders. I think I tried that a couple times before this. I'll test it out again between this part and next part. But I think the only way you can do that is in true Gemini. Like if you're in the interface of Gemini, not on this side one. That's the only time I've been able to have it actually build a sort, because it has to build it using Canvas, which is what Dan and I talked about a couple weeks ago. So,
yeah.
I want to like pop these to the side at some point and like look through what is it saying we can do on their answer sheet here.
So let's double down on what it can do, and we'll explore what it can't do or like where it's headed next. But so behind the scenes, one of the things that Gemini in particular is light years ahead of other LLMs on in functional terms is its ability to process documents. So the document processing capacity of Gemini is astonishing. Not the Gemini that we work on, but like the Vertex, all the stuff behind the scenes that they're doing. And it's API accessible, and you kind of have to build apps out to it, but that's very powerful. So its ability to just, I think it's doing something like you can process 6,000 documents for $1. Right. Yeah. So in terms
when you say $1, Tim, here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen or I'm going to pull us back up to.
Yeah.
one without sharing screen. So it just, when you say $1,
Mm-hmm.
can you clarify like that? So that's their API. So what you're saying is if I wanted to like code in from external to process using Gemini, it's the cheapest way to do it, or like one of the cheaper ways we've found. But I want to add the
one of the only
clarification that
possible ways of doing it too. Like,
yeah,
it is actually like really, really good at this. But yeah, keep
but
going.
it won't cost me anything to do it the way we're doing it, where I'm searching via
Oh,
Drive
thank
Gemini.
you for yes. Okay,
That's what I wanted to ask.
very good point. And this is true of all of these systems, right? So I work a lot in a system called Cassidy. Do a ton of work in there. I really like it. And
Yeah, we'll
one
have to
of the
pull
points
him
of confusion,
sometime.
yeah, absolutely. But one of the points of confusion for it is that you can, like, out of the box, even on the free version, you can access ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, right? Like those base models. And so where people get confused is that what they want to do is pull in chats that they've had on ChatGPT into Cassidy and start working with it. And or they want to, they've like been working with Claude for a while. They pull in Claude and they want it to sound like them, and it doesn't. And there's an obvious frustration back to expectations on that. What's happening there is that there's a base system on all of these LLMs, large language models, that has to be tuned up a little bit. It's like gas mixes, right? Like there's a difference between summer gas and winter gas. And so when you right,
That's the Montana
I did
coming
not
out of
know
you.
until I was like in my late 40s, I think. And so
That's awesome.
the thing to know about that is that those mixes are different. When you're working with ChatGPT, it's got a mix on it. It's got custom instructions and some temperature changes and top P and this other stuff that data scientists understand that makes it interact with you the way that it interacts with you.
Yeah.
When you work with it in an API through somebody else's system, you're not accessing the same like gas mix, right? You're not accessing the same thing. So Claude's not going to sound in that system the way that it does there because it's in the raw, basically, right? And what that means is that you're not accessing your version of Claude, which is why you pay, and the way that you pay for that then is not on a monthly subscription, it's in tokens.
Yeah.
So tokens are like the smallest unit of meaning for LLM models, and so you pay for a token, and a token is just like a tiny little thing that it goes and gets. Is maybe the easiest way to say that. Or it's not actually what it gets, it's how it thinks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just can't let that go.
We probably could owe an episode on like just explaining like APIs. I hate to use the word for dummies because that's not it, but I love the for dummies.
Fine with me. Yeah.
Brand.
Right. I mean,
I'll
be talking about it, and I'm a dummy. I was a dummy on this, right? And I've had to learn it. So.
I still forget what rag means. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so you're absolutely right. You're not going to pay for those tokens. And you're also like, they're not bringing that to Drive right now. They're running all sorts of things to figure out how to bring that to Drive. My point on saying all of that is their engineering team can see where this is going, and they're probably running tests where it is working for them in the background because they've got that set up. And so I don't know. I get frustrated when documentation leads development, right? So got documentation out here that is actually inaccurate right now.
Development guy.
What's that?
So you are a development guy.
I don't think of myself as a developer, but I think that more and more I'm realizing like,
but between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, that's I hope that's helpful. But you won't be charged any money for using Gemini in Drive.
Within Drive. Yep. That's the clarifier that I wanted to add. Okay. So I wanted to show, because I don't want people to leave being like, we learned nothing about how to use Gemini in Drive today.
Good.
Which, to be fair, we're learning with you. So one way that I know, and this is it kind of builds on how we did Canvas with Dan. But one thing that Gemini is really strong in is actually within your files. So while there's some learning for Tim and I to do on the back end of how it can do better in your Drive itself, I knew that we could demo some things on how it works in your files itself. So for example, in my fake board report here that I've built for the Impact Me Foundation. This would be like the equivalent of like your fancy board report, right? So you could add whatever you wanted to this. If somebody's got one that they'd rather me test, feel free to send it along. Happy to. But I wanted to ask, like, okay, so now I want you to create me an email brief to the board, highlighting the report and overviewing the key points they can learn in the report. It will be attached. So like, basically like, help me email this to my board, right? That's kind of the easiest way to do this. So you're spending your time on the report itself, not, God, now how do I synthesize this and do the key points and yada, yada. So
wait, did you just say board report?
Oh no, don't you dare.
What?
Don't do it.
I'm just asking a question.
We're fighting. We will fight. Now you have to, because everyone's gonna be like, why is she yelling at him?
Well, I can't. The flaw here is that I actually like don't have like video storage space to show the video because I made a hey Jen of my dad joke.
Ooh.
I know. Anyway, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
it.
you. I mean, I did, but whatever.
When in doubt, Tim's got a dad joke to make. Promise. Which we found you're not alone in. Craig from YOU this week was all about the dad jokes, and they were super fun and hilarious. And he also let me razz him a little bit about those, so I was grateful for that.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so here's a great example, right? And this is the simplest version. This has nothing, like, this does not include actually. This would be like if you want no context in it and you just wanted to give you a quick email for you to edit from. The like hyper turned up version of this, right, would be to take one of the gems that we created last week and actually manually. So when you're in the gem, let's just go to it quick, right? One of our, so let's say we did our copy creator. Let me make sure, because we duplicated quite a few of them. Here, social copy creator. So let's pretend we're trying to write social copy for this. But we would literally just, so you, when I say manually, like you're pulling the board report in and you're saying the same thing, right? Let me literally copy it.
Sammy's out here talking about board reports and all the ways that Gemini can help nonprofits, but I'm still.
I hated that. I hated everything about that. Oh my God.
Do you like how it didn't make it out of the uncanny valley too? Like,
I love that it was just like.
Well, okay. Yes, I probably should have picked a different scene because like that is, yeah, that anyway. So there we go. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so even though this is our social copy creator, it did still, one, I love that it's like, hello, I'm Impact Me social copy creator. Hello, this is who I am. Which you can turn that off. Like you can adjust your instructions to do that. But this is the example of like the difference between the two, right? Like a gem allows you to be more specific because you've given specific instructions to. And I am sure, again, this is me making assumptions here, but I am sure in the future you'll be able to choose a gem that you want to communicate with this file using.
Interesting.
And if that's not in the works, Google put it on the roadmap.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting.
Right? Like, but yeah. I'm also kind of like, it can't be that hard. You've already got Gemini in there. Like, just connect it to the gems.
Well, I mean, it can't be that hard. Yes, it can.
Dan said try vid. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah. I think it means
Dan,
try video.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. I think it might
try to make a video?
I think so.
Maybe we'll have to do that next week. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah, you can make video. Dan, okay, we need to have.
Oh, I know what you're doing. He showed it to me.
Yeah. No, he's doing this stuff and it's great. It's really cool.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to add, so here I created a program summary for the AI learning and ethics program from Impact
Okay, wait,
Me.
hold on. What is happening on your screen right now? What is this? Are you in Gamma right now?
No, but I did build this in Gamma.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because it was faster.
Yeah. But is it building right now, or are you just like?
No, I already built it.
Like, okay, all right. So
no, I built this before. Okay, that will be a tool that I will say we need to do like an episode.
Yeah, no, Gamma's really cool. Gamma, please open up your API backend if you haven't already. But
yes.
Okay.
Cool. I did. Yeah. Anyway. On this note though, so I built a little like, here's a program overview of a fake program with the fake foundation. Great. one, love that you can do a summary of the content, because how many times do we get? I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen Tim Lockie's content decks, like slide decks, but they're like literally hundreds of decks, like of slides long. And so, you know how nice it would be to have some summary options with some of
Wait,
that.
hold on. What do you mean by that? What do you mean how nice it would be to have a summary?
200 slides?
Nobody here even knows what that means. Nice to have a summary. I
Get
usually
outta
only
here.
show about 90 at a time, just in my defense.
Even then.
No, I'm joking.
Summarize it.
That's not a defense.
So I just wanted to show like what's cool about what it can do with slides is it can actually add to it as well. So it can add a summary slide to the beginning of this if you want. And what I really appreciate about Google and Gemini is it's trying really hard to have those suggestions be like usable, right?
Yeah.
Not like they've got some fun, crazy chaos, but like it is clear that they're like, I think this is something people are going to need. Now I can't really see this, so that'll be something else, but so anyway, we've got all sorts of things. Like I said, today was going to be about showing you guys how we learn to show. So next week will be more like back to our quote polished.
Will it be?
How we do
it will not be polished, but it will. But it may be more on point. Yeah, sure.
But we wanted a chance to just say hi, catch up, and get people connected.
Well, there's. I feel like there's a. I do feel like there's a lot to learn about the way that AI is interacting, not just with us, but now with our files. So this is we're in the step where it has to learn how to interact with our existing content rather than just creating new content for us. So I think that, I think this can be interesting. Okay. I am really excited about something, and I gave Tim Serantonio a shout out earlier. So, but I've been watching Tim Serantonio and Neon One for years now put together an annual report. They put so much time, effort, and love into what they're documenting, and they're creating enormous value for the ecosystem because they open that up and they give people a lot of the answers to things that people may not have. They don't even know they've got questions about. So this is the generosity report that has just come out on, and that QR code, you can go download it for free. It is really great. And they've got really interesting statistics in here, like multi-year donors gave 1.5. Wait, what is that one, or is that a comma? I can't even see my own thing. They gave a lot more. I think that's like
the old man can't
I know.
see.
What is the percent on that? It's in the notes. What is it?
Oh, it's in the notes.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Oh gosh, 1,519%.
That's what I thought. I thought it was I was like, wow, they've got 3 trailing zeros on that. Yeah. So this just show like multi-year donors are giving a lot more. That is where a lot of value is coming from. Recruiting donors are giving 120%, 121% more. They talk about peer-to-peer, which I feel like peer-to-peer just kind of dropped off the radar. And because they dig into the numbers on this, they are showing what to bring back. Anyway, they will do a very good job of explaining what's going on a webinar on May 27th. So get to that webinar, download the report. This is a really, really great asset for the nonprofit sector and for your organization.
Yeah. And if you're not following Tim on LinkedIn, do it.
Yes.
He's always posting stuff like,
right. Yeah.
I feel like I know Tim. I don't. I think I've emailed him twice. I think I've been on a call. I do know him, but I don't. Kind of the way we all do.
Amazing individual. Like mad. I cannot say enough about Tim. Like such a great individual. Do you know? Okay, sorry. Quick aside. I flew to Icon. The reason I go to Icon every year is because I flew there because he was going to be there, and I wanted to have a sit down with him. Like that's the entire reason that I got into the fundraising ecosystem is to because I flew there. It was him and Mallory Erickson. I flew there to meet them in person to ask some questions. 2
amazing people.
And then I was like, wow, fundraising conferences are so much better than tech conferences. That's where I'm going to be from now on. And so, it's been great.
The fact that
anyway, Tim Serantonio, follow him if you're not. And
we
download the generosity report. Too. Tim, you should hop in here some week and tell us more about the generosity report. Meet Sami.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if you can join in a couple weeks.
That'd be great. We'd love that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Up next.
Yes.
This one's all
Okay.
you.
So Donor Perfect has their annual online conference coming up in early June. I am so proud to be I'm so proud to be on their radar at all, actually. But also just the speaker lineup here is really amazing. And I feel honored to be part of that lineup. I'm going to be talking about agency in an agentic world. And I think this is such a critical thing for us to start thinking about right now. So people really feel powerless with AI. And that is before AI started actually outperforming them at work. And that is like literally, this is going to start happening with us. And so I feel like finding ways to maintain your agency in the midst of agentic AI is actually a really important question for us to be thinking about that. I relate that to the Serenity Prayer from the 12-step program, because I think that there's so much there about what it's like to feel powerless and still have agency. So, yeah, I think that would be great. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for hopping in. And
Oh, that's my new friend, Kevin.
yeah, great. And so, yeah, so that's going to be June 3rd and 4th. Come see me, come see Lloyd, see Mallory, see like the whole lineup. It's so great. And yeah, that's coming up in June 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, perfect.
And you can register with that QR code right there.
Yep.
Well, the one that was there.
Yeah, because I always like to give the last plug for Upskillerator for a few reasons. One, this is how Tim and I really got to connect and learn that we think similarly, we are curious similarly, we bug each other similarly. And so I always like to make sure that people know, and it's right after this. So literally 11 my time, it's 10:45 right now. You could literally scan that QR code right now and join us in 10 minutes. We're starting season 2. Do you want to give a little, do you want to talk about what season 2 is all about?
I'm so excited about it. This week, we're going to be talking about automations 101. So for season 2, seasons are about 10 episodes. So about 10 weeks. And really, Kevin, that's awesome. That is so great. So I love that you're going to sign up for this. And so really what I want to do is focus on what people need to know about automations, autonomy, agency, and agentic AI, right? And so we're going to be talking about automations for the next, for this season 2. And then season 3, we're going to be pointed at agentic AI or agents. I think, but maybe we'll change our minds on
that's our plan
3,
right now.
Yeah. Right. And there's so much to cover in just automations. And I think if I could give one giveaway on this, it is to not try and jump to agents before you've worked out how automations work. Because you'll actually get agents that are thinking the right way. But in order to get them connected, you really have to understand how automations work really well. So it's an hour. It's a community of people that are upskilling. So it's really the upskiller community. And we meet at the Upskillerator. And I do lead it, but I might be 1 or 2 steps ahead of people, but it really is a co-learning time. So we'd love to have people join us there. You can grab the QR code. We hope to see people there. It is the way that you and I got to be friends. And I'm so grateful for that, because you just hopped in and you were like, hey, here I am, hear me roar. And I'm like, wow, that is awesome. I'm so glad for that. And I remember you said, hey, you need to let me know if I'm too much. And I was like, you are never too much. Like, stop letting
I do have to warn people, though, because there are some people that are like, I don't need the chat warrior. I get in and I get excited and I reply a lot because I don't want to take all the airspace, but it's fine.
No,
I mean, when we're excited about this stuff, it's important. And that's one thing I love about what we do is there is a space for me, but there's also a space for, I think of like Jennifer and Matt, who aren't as extroverted as I am, and they thrive just as much because we've created that sort of like group community bit. So yeah,
absolutely.
Join us in a few minutes if you guys want to.
We'll see you all there. Sammy, thanks again for setting up this week's conversation. And
It's a little more chaotic,
yeah, you
but I
do.
like it.
No,
I
it's
like
fine,
the chaos.
right? It's a live show.
For sure.
And yeah, so it's in the raw. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
How do we end this?
We go
This is the
here,
worst transition we've
and
ever
then I
had.
say bye, everybody. And then you say bye, everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you do it again, or do we start
Ready?
it from the top?
1, 2. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.